When Alex Morgan chased his white moonlight abroad, I begged him not to go, but he didn't look back. A year later, when I got married, Alex flew back. Seeing my wedding ring, the once arrogant Morgan heir collapsed. His smile was forced. "Lena, are you going to take it off yourself, or should I do it for you?" His voice trembled. "I'll buy you any ring you want. Throw this one away, please." I didn't invite many people to the wedding, just a dozen relatives and friends for a meal. My husband doted on me, never letting me get tired. He entertained the guests while I chatted with my best friend, Nina Chin. Nina sighed as she watched my wedding. "I thought you'd wait for Alex forever." I looked down and smiled. "So did I." She asked, "Does Alex know you're married?" I shook my head. "No, and he doesn't need to." She paused. "I heard Alex booked a flight like crazy last night and flew back from the US overnight." I stayed silent. So urgent, maybe his white moonlight ran away again. Just like before, when she got mad at Alex and fled to the US, he booked a ticket right in front of me to chase her. I was on my period then, shivering under the blankets. I sat in front of him, trembling, watching his long fingers unhesitatingly tap on his phone to book a flight for that night. Grimacing, I tried to hold him back. "Alex, can't you stay?" His bright eyes met mine, and he smiled casually. "Stay home, and I'll bring you a gift." He lifted my chin, kissed my lips softly, and tucked me in. "Necklace or bracelet?" I didn't answer. Alex loved giving jewelry. He'd given me countless pieces, but never a ring. The gifts he gave Samantha White were few, but always rings. I took a deep breath, looking at his lean, handsome face and pale skin, still pleading. "Really, can't you stay?" The smile faded from Alex's lips as he patted my head. "You know our relationship." I froze, speechless. I'd chased Alex down myself. His only condition, our relationship had to stay secret, especially from Samantha. In short, I was his backup. I had no right to stop him even though we lived together and he'd taken me to family gatherings. Seeing me quiet, Alex kissed my forehead with a smile. "Be good, I'll bring you a gift when I'm back." I looked down. "When will you return?" He stood up, slowly and deliberately fastening his shirt buttons. "A few days." He probably didn't expect that this time, his white moonlight wasn't going abroad to relax, but to study, so he stayed with her for a year. Watching Alex's tall, straight back disappear, I sighed. Sensing my unhappiness, he turned around. "Think of something you want me to do before I leave, I'll do it." Looking at his face, I thought, "Can you help me find someone?" His name is Caleb Reed, a war correspondent. Alex's face darkened. "What's your relationship with him?" "If you can't explain, I won't help." I bit my lip. "He's my cousin, on my aunt's side." Alex relaxed a bit and nodded. "Wait for my news." He turned and left. As his back vanished, I took a photo from my wallet. It showed a lean, handsome man, resembling Alex. I rubbed the photo. Alex was so forgetful. I'd told him I grew up in an orphanage. Where would an aunt come from? I'd also told him there was a brother in the orphanage who'd taken care of me. But he forgot. He never wondered why I loved looking at his face so much, loved only his face. Alex truly loved Samantha, even though she'd been wishy-washy for years and refused to commit. He loved her willingly. And I did love Alex, his face, that is. The face so like Caleb's. I'd always been grateful to Alex. He saved me from darkness. When I met him, I'd lost touch with Caleb for 3 years. Many said Caleb was gone. I was a zombie, lifeless. Then I saw Alex, a junior a year younger than me. When I saw his face, so like Caleb's, I cried. I tried every way to get close to Alex, being good to him unconditionally. Everyone knew I was Alex's shadow, carrying his bags, holding his coat, buying things, mediating when he fought with Samantha, and helping him home when he was drunk. Maybe I was too good for him to ignore. So one night, drunk after a fight with Samantha, he pulled me into his arms. "Like me?" Looking at that lean, handsome face, I nodded. From that day on, I became Alex's secret girlfriend, if a backup counts as a girlfriend. This lasted for years. Alex and Samantha didn't work out, but we moved in together. Sometimes Alex would hold me and sigh, "Lena, you're the kindest woman to me." You don't even care about my money. I smiled. I wouldn't refuse if you wanted to give me some. But you never spend it. Alex's bright phoenix eyes stared at me. You don't spend my money, wear my jewelry, or force me to go public. He said, sometimes I think you're using me as a backup too. I booped his nose and buried myself in his arms with a laugh. Whether I was a backup didn't matter. We'd spent 6 years together, 6 years that meant everything to me. But Alex didn't see it that way. He still loved Samantha. If she called drunk at midnight, Alex would jump up to pick her up. Before, Alex left without explanation. But later, he started making excuses, looking guilty. I thought I was becoming different to him, but I was wronged. He still chased Samantha abroad, giving me no chance to keep him. He was gone for a year. Once, Alex came back drunk and asked me to pick him up. When I arrived, he was in a nightclub booth, video calling Samantha. Seeing me, he waved, "Lena, come here." He showed me to Samantha. "Let me introduce my girlfriend of 6 years, Lena." Samantha remained cold, but her eyes scanned me, lingering for a few seconds. Then she smiled. "Alex, did you move on?" Alex laughed. "Yep. Why chase after your cold shoulder when I have a gentle, virtuous wife?" Samantha saw Alex hugging me and asked how long we'd been together. I answered honestly, 6 years. Samantha hung up without even saying goodbye, unlike her usual proud self. Alex's arm around me tensed suddenly. That night, Alex was holding me to sleep when he took a call. When he came back, he kissed me endlessly, staying up all night, just looking at me. By morning, his voice was hoarse. "Lena, it's over between us." I hadn't slept either. I'd guessed it. I heard the call. Samantha had casually told him to break up, saying she'd get back with him if he did. I knew I wasn't as important as Samantha. I nodded, not wanting a scene, turning away to wipe my eyes. Alex held me from behind so tightly I could barely breathe. He whispered in my ear, "There's news about your cousin. He's not dead, just suffering from amnesia abroad." I froze. Turning around, I asked, "Can you bring him back?" Alex kissed my lips one last time. "I can. I owe you this." He flew to be with Samantha that very day. Days later, I saw Caleb in the best hospital, being treated by top specialists. Soon, he regained his memory and remembered me. Caleb had lost his memory while saving a child in a bombing zone. When he woke up, he hugged me first, his gentle voice in my ear, "I'm sorry I made you suffer these 10 years. Tears streamed down. My empty heart was finally filled. Caleb and I had missed 10 years, we didn't want to waste another. We got engaged quickly. Caleb asked if I'd loved anyone else in those 10 years, warning me not to decide impulsively. Vaguely, Alex's face flashed through my mind, but it was gone in an instant. I shook my head, smiling, "No." Stroking the scar Caleb got from saving the child, I repeated, "No." Actually, before Caleb asked, I dreamed of Alex a few times. In my dreams, he sneered at me, telling me not to flatter myself. My heart ached, but as time passed, I stopped dreaming of him. Those 6 years seemed to fade away with the wind. Nina Chin, my best friend, sometimes asked if I ever thought of Alex. I was silent for a few seconds, then shook my head. "I hope he and Samantha can be happy together," I said. "It's better if we forget each other." At least I'd truly tried to leave him in the past. Days later, Caleb and I ran into one of Alex's classmates at a restaurant. The classmate waved from afar. "Dude, why didn't you call when you got back?" He took a few steps, then stopped, stunned. Caleb resembled Alex, but had a war-zone scar between his eyebrows. Their auras were worlds apart. Caleb lacked Alex's cocky, rich kid swagger, exuding instead a steely calm. The classmate looked at Caleb, then back at me in confusion. "Lena, this," he hesitated, then blurted, "Did you cheat on Alex?" I shook my head. "We broke up." The classmate was more shocked, "But Alex said you were still waiting." I cut him off. "This is my fiancé. We're getting married soon." He gaped, then hurried away, dialing his phone as he stared at our intertwined hands. I tried to explain to Caleb, but he smiled. "It's in the past. Why mention it?" He tucked my hair behind my ear. you can't be expected to wait 10 years just because I was missing. My eyes welled up, sudden grief flooding me. In the 3 years after losing Caleb, I'd clung to my phone daily, never turning it off. A strange call would make me jump. The first year, I prayed for a call saying Caleb was injured and coming home. The second year, I just wanted to know he was alive. By the third year, I feared calls but couldn't ignore them. When Alex appeared, I'd just been diagnosed with severe anxiety and panic disorder. His face became my last lifeline. Being Alex's backup wasn't without bitterness, but I couldn't let go of that face. Only by looking at him could I find the strength to live. Did I love Alex? I didn't know. But I was grateful enough to endure everyone mocking me as his backup. For 6 years, in my eyes, Alex was a good man who'd saved me. I thought he saw me as sensible, at least. But I never expected him to snarl liar through clenched teeth. Alex called late at night. I tiptoed out, not wanting to wake Caleb. I thought he'd come for his things, but the second I answered, he hissed liar, like he wanted to devour me. His voice was hoarse. Lena, you lied. You said he was your cousin, you lied to me. Gone was his casual, rich kid act. He strained to hold back anger, even sounding hurt, like a child. I bowed my head, sighing, I'm sorry. Apologies came easily. I'd been doing it for 6 years. For staring at him too much in front of Samantha, for trying to hold his hand around her friends, for calling when he was with her. Each time, I'd look at his face and say sorry. At first, Alex would awkwardly pat my head, just do better next time. Later, he'd rest his chin in his hand, smiling, you look so cute when you apologize. Eventually, he stopped setting rules, but my apology reflex remained, I'm sorry spilled out instantly. Alex paused, still seething, sorry isn't good enough this time, Lena. I'm really pissed. I should have left your lover in the war zone, why did I bring him back to cuckold myself? My face hardened, but he ignored it, pressing, has he touched you? Answer me, has he touched you? I cut him off, Alex, stop talking about him like that. He means a lot to me. There was dead silence. Then a crash sounded. Through gritted teeth, he laughed bitterly, Lena, you never said I meant a lot to you. He added, remember, until I say you can go, you're still mine. I'm not yours, I frowned. We were done the day you flew to America for Samantha. Alex was silent, then whispered, so this is payback, isn't it? You're with him to spite me. If I give you a chance to regret, I sighed, Alex, stop. You and Samantha finally got together. Just be happy. He went quiet, breathing heavily, then hung up without a word. Listening to the dial tone, I sighed. Alex hadn't changed. Mention Samantha, and his sanity returned. Once, when he called drunk at midnight, I threw on a coat over my pajamas and rushed to the bar. Freezing, my hands numb, I found him wasted, but he refused to leave. His friend, exasperated, video called Samantha, let her see you like this. Instantly, Alex stood straight, sober as a judge, and got in the car. His friend looked at me, embarrassed. Sorry, only Samantha can get him to listen. I shook my head, it's fine, I don't mind. That night, I stayed up making him hangover soup. He held me, murmuring Samantha's name all night. A voice in my head asked, Lena, do you really not mind? Then why are your hands so cold? Shaking off the memory, I looked at the bedroom where my love slept. The past didn't matter anymore, I truly didn't care. Caleb and I began planning our wedding. While trying on my dress, I ignored several calls from Alex, but my phone kept buzzing with his texts, more in one day than he'd send in a month. Lena, I haven't let you go yet. Lena, you'll regret this. What are you doing? Reply. You never took this long before. Driven crazy by the buzzing, I grabbed my phone in the fitting room and texted hurriedly, I'm trying on my wedding dress. Stop texting. The phone went silent briefly, then vibrated wildly, non-stop, like the person on the other end had lost their mind. I finally answered, Alex, if you keep this up, we can't even be friends. But he ignored me, firing off questions, what's so great about him? Lena, marriage and dating are different. He took a deep breath. Lena, listen. Did your parents approve? Wait till I get back to talk to them. Calm down, Alex, I interrupted gently. There was silence. I'm really getting married, I said. We grew up together, know each other, and are perfect for each other. Before he could respond, I added, Samantha won't like this. He didn't speak, but his breathing grew ragged. I sighed. I told you I grew up in an orphanage. Where would parents come from? Why can't you remember? I hung up. Alex never called again. Caleb waited patiently outside the fitting room, never asking why I took so long. When I emerged, he hugged me tightly, reluctant to let go. Ning, thank you for loving me. I hugged him back. Thank you too. We both grew up in orphanages, any kindness stuck with us. Unlike Alex, the spoiled rich kid. It's natural he'd freak out when his obedient ex moved on so fast. But I believed time would heal him, that he'd let go of his grudges. I overestimated Alex's ability to accept reality. Days before the wedding, when I needed beauty sleep, Alex called again late at night, slurring, Lena, you're something else. Annoyed, I considered blocking him. His voice was hoarse, defeated. Why didn't I look at that photo? One glance would have told me something was off. He was angry and hurt. I didn't even look. I brought him back from the war zone, got him treated, and delivered him to you. I gave myself a goddamn cuckold. His voice shook with rage. He lowered his voice, struggling to stay calm but failing. Lena, were you using me as a replacement? I fell silent. So did he. After a beat, he shouted, talk. Why won't you talk? Suddenly, I remembered when Samantha had other suitors. Alex posted my back on social media, wearing the latest designer dress Samantha wanted. It was the only time I wore his gift. Usually, I left his presence tagged in my closet, but he begged me to put it on and took my photo. It was the first time he posted me. Many liked it, comments asked who I was. Alex hugged me, showing me the screen. Honey, they're asking about you. When Alex was happy, he called me honey. He twirled my hair around his finger. My buddies are so jealous I call you my wife. I smiled, but my eye caught a new comment from Samantha. I want to go to a music festival. Coming? Moments later, Alex checked his phone, hand freezing. He flipped it over, pulled out his credit card nonchalantly. Go buy some bags. Then he stood, put on his coat, and headed out. Watching him leave, I blurted, Alex, can you stay? He paused with his hand on the doorknob, turned back smiling. Feeling lonely? Shop more, buy clothes and jewelry. As the door closed, he added, I'll be back soon, honey. I stared at the closed door, mixed emotions. By then, we'd graduated and started working. He'd switched from baby to honey. Deep down, he meant more to me then. I looked at the credit card on the coffee table, then put it in a drawer, never touching it or his gifts again. Days later, Alex returned. The post with me was gone. When a friend asked why he deleted his girlfriend's photo, he shrugged. Oh, just a girl I saw. Thought she was pretty. Didn't want you guys to get the wrong idea. I was in his arms, motionless and compliant. After hanging up, he kissed my ear. Honey, you're so good. He thought about it, then reposted my photo, visible only to himself. You're too pretty to share, he said, stroking my hair. I looked at his face, smiling wordlessly, my heart numb, like the credit card in the drawer. I never complained then, it was my cross to bear. Now, Alex demanded, Lena, answer me. Was I a replacement? I sighed, ready to confront him. What about me, Alex? What was our 6 years? He went silent. For 6 years, I never complained, I said. Now you can't handle a few days? His breathing grew erratic. I sighed again, hung up, and blocked him on all platforms, finally closing the door on those 6 years. Caleb and I got married in a dream wedding. I decorated everything, chose my dress, I finally had a family. But at the wedding, Nina told me Alex had booked a flight home in a frenzy. I didn't believe it. He and Samantha had just gotten together, he wouldn't abandon her. But there he was. The Alex I remembered was tall, handsome, and elegant. This Alex was pale, haggard, holding a jewelry box, staring at Caleb and me, more at Caleb than me. I was startled. He looked between us, beckoning me. With Caleb greeting colleagues, I rushed to Alex, pleading softly, "Please don't make a scene. This wedding means everything to me." Alex's face darkened. My begging seemed to anger him. He looked at Caleb in the distance. "Lena, which of us looks like the other?" I was confused, not understanding his meaning. Alex asked again, "Honey, between me and him, who is more like a stand-in?" He called me honey as if we were still together. But he'd only called me that when he was in a good mood, and his good moods always revolved around Samantha. I'd rather he called me Lena. My face hardened. "Alex, I'm not your honey." I pointed to Caleb. "I'm his wife, legally." Alex stared at me in silence, his face livid. I regretted speaking so bluntly. Born into wealth, he might act impulsively when challenged. Frozen in place, I wondered how to usher this troublemaker out when Caleb called me. I was terrified but hid it, consumed by Alex's icy expression and the uncertain fate of my wedding. Caleb seemed oblivious, hugging me gently. "Don't wander off. I might lose you." He patted my shoulder. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Leaning against Caleb's chest, listening to his steady heartbeat, my anxiety vanished. I smiled and nodded, "Mm." Caleb kissed my lips, and I pulled him closer, kissing back deeply. With Caleb here, nothing else mattered. With him by my side, I feared nothing. When the kiss ended, Alex was gone. He'd left quietly without the scene I'd feared. Nina said he'd rushed off like fleeing a predator. A text from an unknown number appeared. "You never smiled at me like that." Nina gestured beside me. Alex looked traumatized, never seen him so disheveled, even stumbled. "What's wrong with him?" I shook my head, saying nothing, clinging to Caleb's hand. We depended on each other as children, loved each other as teens, and now we were married. Others didn't matter, I was with the one I loved. Before leaving, Alex asked Nina to give me a ring. She sneered, "Now he buys a ring, where was this before?" Nina had never liked Alex, hating that I'd settled for being his backup. Alex was generous with necklaces, bracelets, and brooches, but never a ring. Once at dinner, Nina joked about when he'd give me a ring. Alex made a call, and his driver soon arrived with a jade necklace. Nina trembled with anger. I said, "A ring. After all these years, doesn't Lena deserve one?" Alex draped his arm over my chair, dominating the space. "She'll get one. Why rush?" He tilted my chin, promising with a smile, "I'll put a ring on your finger within 10 years. I looked down, smiling wordlessly, suddenly missing Caleb. Caleb never made flippant promises. No matter how alike their faces were, they weren't the same person. After that dinner, I tried to distance myself, ignoring calls, changing my locks, avoiding his place. But days later, Alex had a stomachache and sent me a video, his face pale and gaunt. I wondered if Caleb had looked like this before disappearing in the war zone. Unable to resist, I visited him despite Nina's disapproval. His place was littered with beer bottles. How much had he drunk in a week? Sighing, I cleaned, cooked congee, did laundry, and peeled apples until he recovered. Alex grabbed my hand. "Don't avoid me. I'm not lying, 10 years for the ring." He gestured, a diamond the size of a pigeon's egg. I laughed. "Why not now?" Alex fell silent. Later, he said flatly, "I have an obsession to resolve now." He pulled me into his arms, lying together as his heart raced. "Lena, trust me, give me 10 years. I looked at his face, silent. Alex held me tighter, as if afraid I'd slip away. "It's a deal, 10 years. I rested my cheek on his firm chest, listening to his heartbeat. Heartbeats don't lie. 10 years later, on our wedding night, Caleb and I barely slept. The next morning, while he slept, I blushed as I went downstairs to discard used condoms. There was Alex, standing by his Ferrari, stubble on his chin, bloodshot eyes, cigarette butts at his feet. He glanced at the clear trash bag in my hand, turning away. His voice was hoarse. "Lena, I waited all night, watching your lights go out." All trace of his pride was gone. His gaze avoided the bag but couldn't miss the hickey on my neck. the proud Morgan heir, staring at my neck like a child who'd lost a treasure, his eyes red. Desperate, he croaked, "Lena, I'm sick. It hurts." Before, I'd drop everything to care for him, cook, peel apples, feed him medicine. Now I could only say, "Buy some medicine." Alex staggered, eyes reddening more. Despite his wealthy upbringing, Alex had learned martial arts to prevent kidnapping, tough from injuries. He'd always prided himself on not being delicate. But now, a tear fell, and he didn't wipe it, just looked at me. "Lena, seeing you smile at Caleb made me realize I can treat you like that too." He closed his eyes, gritting his teeth as if forcing out the words, "Even if I'm a stand-in. Stand-ins can become the real thing, right? I can't bear seeing you with someone else." I was speechless, wiggling my right hand. On my finger was a wedding ring, small but custom designed. Alex's face paled. "Lena, take it off. Will you do it, or should I?" He begged hoarsely, "I'll buy you any ring, throw that one away, please." I shook my head. "No, Alex. This is my wedding ring." Looking down at it, Caleb bought it. "I love it." Alex choked up. "Don't say that, Lena. It hurts. Really hurts." I sighed. I held no grudge against Alex, after all, his face had pulled me through my darkest days. I hoped he could let go of the past and move on. I thought about comforting him, but when I looked up, I saw a familiar figure that startled me. Samantha was here. Always immaculate, she now looked haggard. She stared at me in disbelief, then at Alex. "Alex, I didn't believe it when others said you broke up with me and flew back for her." Glancing at my wedding ring, she looked insulted. "She's plain and married, and you left me for her?" Samantha was furious. Once, a single angry word from Samantha would send Alex chasing halfway across the globe. But now, he didn't even turn to look at her, focusing solely on me. "Lena, I can't live without you. I haven't slept in days." His face gaunt, he begged, "Come back, honey. I'll change, no more looking at other women. Stand-ins can become the real thing, marriages can be annulled. Please, I'll change." I was speechless. Never had I seen Alex like this. Even during his years of on-off with Samantha, he'd never begged her like this. Samantha stood stunned, her face flushing then paling. Finally, she cried, "Don't regret it. You won't get a second chance," and ran off sobbing. Alex didn't even glance after her. "She's really gone," I reminded him. He grabbed my hand. "I never planned to stay with her. She was just an obsession. When I think of marriage, you're the only one in my mind." "Alex," I interrupted, massaging my temple. Worried Caleb would wake and miss me, I decided to be blunt. "I didn't always use you as a stand-in. I did have feelings for you. How couldn't I? 6 years of intimacy, how could I not develop feelings?" Alex's eyes lit up. I sighed, "But you pushed me away, Alex. Remember? Every time I was about to commit, you chose Samantha. You kept reminding me Caleb would never treat me that way, that you could never replace him." The light in Alex's eyes dimmed. He still protested. "I can change, Lena." I cut him off. "You don't love me, Alex. You just can't stand being unloved. First Samantha, now me. I pointed to my heart, but I can't bother anymore. This heart belongs to my husband now, there's no room for you." The last spark in Alex's eyes died. I walked past him toward home. At the door, I found Caleb standing there, silent. How long had he been awake? I panicked. "You heard everything." Caleb hugged me. "Don't worry. Alex called me, asked me to give you up." "What did you say?" I asked, astonished. "I repaid double the money he spent bringing me back and treating me. Sent him a wedding invitation too." I was speechless. So that's how Alex found our hotel. Caleb knew exactly how to strike where it hurt. I didn't know when Alex left, nor did I care. I was busy planning our honeymoon. On a sunny afternoon, Caleb and I arrived at a tropical island. Under blue skies and golden sand, we relaxed until night, returning to our beach bungalow. I told Alex years ago I wanted to stay here, but we never had time. When Caleb heard, he booked it immediately for our honeymoon. Standing at the window, I saw a familiar figure next door, Alex, alone on the sand, drinking beer surrounded by empty bottles. I closed the window, but before I could draw the curtains, Caleb pulled me into a kiss. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Alex drinking alone as Caleb carried me to the bedroom. The next morning, I saw Alex still on the beach, motionless. Fearing the worst, I checked his breath. He was alive. As I turned to leave, he grabbed my hand, his once confident eyes now drunk and heartbroken in the morning light. "Len, can I hug you one last time? Just once." I pulled away, standing, "I'm married, Alex." Drunk, he laughed bitterly over the waves. "I can't let you go, Lena. It's not about not getting you, it's about loving you too late. Honey, give me one more chance. I'll cherish you for life." I paused, then walked back. This endless obsession had to end. My return gave Alex hope, but I wordlessly showed him a phone photo, a pregnancy test with 2 lines. "I'm pregnant, Alex." He froze. Seconds later, he shoved the phone away like a snake, unable to look. I stood over him, repeating his own breakup words, "It's over between us." I walked back to the bungalow, leaving dead silence behind. Later, I truly forgot Alex. Caleb and I built a happy life, and the past faded. 10 months later, I gave birth to a daughter. At her 100-day banquet, Caleb beamed as he showed off our baby. Sitting nearby, I watched them, warm inside. A waiter brought a fancy gift box. "A gentleman asked me to give this to you." Assuming it was from a friend, I thanked him and opened it. Inside were 2 things, a golden lock pendant and a huge pigeon's egg diamond ring. Nina gasped, "Isn't this the ring Alex tried to give you at your wedding? The one he asked me to give you, but you refused, so I returned it?" Realizing what happened, I grabbed the box and ran out, but only saw Alex's lean figure enter his sports car, which roared away. Nina chased out with me inside. "If he had done this earlier, you two might not have." I shook my head and smiled. "What are you thinking? There are no what-ifs in life. What's missed is missed. There are no ifs, no do-overs." I returned to the banquet hall, looking at my husband and daughter, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Caleb came over and hugged me. "Is there something on my face? Why keep staring at me?" I shook my head, nestling into his arms. "I'm just grateful I didn't miss you. I didn't miss my true happiness."